Okay, so welcome back to another edition of the Bare Bones. So today I'm going to be looking at Longbows Part 2. So we're going to look at two maps today. We're going to look at Dasao Fort and we're going to look at Agulia. Now Dasao Fort is actually a decent longbow map. There's lots of places to do your longbows. Agulia is a horrible longbow map, like maybe two. The best thing I can say about Agulia is if you can possibly avoid it, don't bring longbows. But just in case you feel you absolutely must bring longbows, I've included it in this particular iteration just so that you can see where you can put them. But honestly, if you can bring anything else, I would not bring longbows unless you feel you need to level them or something. Okay, so here's a quick map of Dasao Fort. As you can see, there's lots of walls and places to put it. So I'm going to mark on the map three of the prominent ones. Like there's lots of them, but I'm going to mark on the map three of the prominent ones. First one is this spot right here. If you can get up on top of that wall and shoot into A, you're golden. But it's difficult because usually they're trying to stop you from doing that. So if you go just below the wall and they're doing that, you can actually shoot up into the far end of that wall. You're going to see an example of this during my play session. The second part that you can put a longbow set at, on top of that tower just to the left of A as you come up. Now you can actually range all the way to B if you're sitting on top of that. And but if you need to range any closer, unfortunately, you've got to come down the stairs just a little bit, which is what I wind up doing. But you can pretty much hit all the way to B. You have to direct the fire, of course, because the auto fire doesn't quite go all the way, but you can do it. Now the next spot is just past that closed doorway by B. Now you might want to be tempted to put them in that supply point just to the left, and it is a kind of a good spot. But one of the things you may not be aware of is that Namcan sitting on even that farther supply point to the left can actually hit in there. And I've done it. Now they have to the hero has to ride around and direct the fire, but he can do it. He can put it in there, so he can make your life a little bit miserable. So what I tend to do is I stick them right there with a full load. I've got about 3 minutes of 3.5 minutes of shooting, and then I can basically arc over the houses and hit everything, quite far into the point, past the point. So what I usually try to do is find where there's gunners sitting there and hit them, but it is difficult because I got to try and get around. And heroes don't tend to like you getting around and doing that, but that is one thing you can do. So let's get into it and let's see what this all looks like. Okay, so I'm here at that first point, and I'm going to try and ride up there and put them on top and shoot into A. But I quickly realize that it's not going to happen.
Form up. Get into position.
When I notice it, those guys are coming. So I changed my mind real fast because I know I can arc up into the little cupola there. So I get out of there as fast as I can. Bring my guys back down. Now, just briefly, you can also see that you can actually shoot from here into A as well. As you'll watch my guys just sort of auto fire over there and start getting hits. So I let them do that for a minute. And that does cause issues for them. So anyway, I run back up here and you can see that I'm going to try and put my targeting marker at the far end because that's where all their archers are. So I always try to go for the archers first. So I miss it the first time, it hits on the steps. But you can see I'm checking arc anyway, so the arc is going through, the guys are getting hits, so I try to remark it. Because I want it to go just a little bit past. There. So that's pretty decent. If you've got a good solid wall here, you can actually do this all day. But I can see him coming down, so I decide to get the hell out of there. And I send my guys back to the supply point, just because it's a quick way to get your guys out, right? So I then came up this left side, and I'm going to show you where I can shoot into B from here.
Form up. Close order.
And fire.
My command. Loose. Stand ready.
some reason, I decided to shoot that little horse there, guy. But if you look, you'll notice that they are hitting the point right now.
My command. Loose. Stand ready.
Now, I tried to hit those guys down below, but only some of my guys were actually hitting. And this musket guy was annoying me. So I move him forward.
My command. Loose. Stand ready. Close order. Units, assemble. My command. Loose. Stand ready.
And he sees that coming in, so he takes off in a heartbeat. But you can see how far that range bubble goes. The auto fire bubble goes. And when you add height, and you're shooting lower, your arrows can go even farther with the direct fire.
My command.
So now watch me switch to the number 2 ability. So now the longbows are shooting all around me. I'm trying to annoy this guy. I was retreating, but then I saw this guy coming back down, so I changed my mind.
My command. Loose.
But this caused some issues because they didn't notice another longbow player shooting at me from directly in front. And a longbow unit.
My command. Loose.
But I thought I'd help this guy out with his shooting, or with this fight.
Attack. Hurry up.
See, now my guys are taking hits now, so now I gotta get the hell out of
Close
there.
order.
So I come back, and I'm going to shoot back at that longbow player. But you'll notice, where are my guys? That's because I put them down here. You can do this reverse slope thing
Get into position.
and shoot past it. Now I noticed immediately, because I was checking arc, that the majority of the rounds are hitting into the steps. So I moved forward just a little bit, and now the arc's now it clears,
Loose.
right? So he's hitting me personally, but I'm hitting his unit, and he can't win that fight because I've got, you know, I'm shooting over this thing. So that's one of the things that you should think about when you're using a longbows, is you can protect your guys if you have a reverse slope. Like, you can just sit on the reverse slope and just fire over it. And even if only like 60-70% of your rounds clear it, that's you know, 60% of your rounds are getting over that he can't hit you. No one can shoot back at you, right? So I try to use this kind of terrain whenever I can, and then I send him back to heal. But you can see I'm down a few men now, and what that does is it really kind of lowers that volume of indirect fire that you can do.
Our team has captured
Form
BC.
up. Form up. Form up. Get into position.
So I decided to go down because I know I can park them closer, shoot into B, and have unlimited ammo. Now I'm using the Nodachi because I just wanted to try it out, but usually I play a longsword
Form up.
so that I can clash with shields anybody who gets too close to me, and I can heal my guys just in case I'm in a fight.
Get into position.
One of the fun things I like doing is what I'm about to do now. Is I go into B, and I can just drop. It's so easy to drop the direct fire right on my feet, right? So that's what I'm going to do when I get over there.
Capture the point.
My command. Loose.
So there goes the longbow starting to shoot in. The trick is not to die yourself, of course. Luckily I get out of there in time. Still a nub Nodachi. Now just to my left there that you saw, I decided to come back over here and shoot into there. So a little bit of time skip. See, I'm down to like 18 longbows, but I wanted to play them the entire map. And as long as I can knock their shields aside, the longbows will get through there. I'll borrow this guy's shield wall to wrap a bandage around myself. Right about meow. There we go. Now that third point I was talking about is just through this doorway. Right, once we get through that doorway, I can basically shoot all over everywhere. I can arc over all those buildings to the left. You can actually arc over them all if you stand right here. Because again, the more extreme range you are, the higher the arc goes.
Get moving.
So now I'm looking for a target. It's hard because, like I said, I gotta wait for friendly units to come up because those players are not going to just let me do it. Probably not sure why I'm there. Well, they probably figure I'm going to drop a treb on them. I keep forgetting to use my trebuchet. I'll go like 5-6 maps. Oh, I had a trebuchet the whole time. You know, so I see. I'm trying to look for the guns, but again, I can't quite get enough time to drop one on there. So I do see those men-at-arms over to the left there, and I try to drop one on there, and I am getting hits, but because they're such a compact unit, it's actually difficult to hit them with indirect fire. But I do try, and they do get hits, but they're not ideal. You can see I'm getting hits over that corner there. It's always tempting, though, to continue to refine your shot, which is the mistake I made here. Because the thing is, it's not that I'm not hitting. I am hitting. The problem is that that's a compact unit, and so you're not going to get a lot of hits. You really should be shooting at something that's more open. Right, but I am getting hits there, but I keep foolishly trying to recalibrate the shot to get it tighter, but that was a mistake on my part. I should have just, once I had it on there, I should have just let them shoot, because they will shoot. Now, give them that attack at will command so that they'll hit these guys tight. And then I hit the number 2 key because I want them to shoot right on me. I see the gunners, prime target. I start shooting, but I'm almost out of ammo.
Get moving.
And then I send them home to get some more ammo. But the map pretty much ends at this point. We lose. But so here's Agulia. Now, if you look right where my cursor is, that supply point, I can park my longbows right there, and I can shoot into B. There's another spot where you can shoot into C. Well, this spot here you can shoot into the main point. But that's pretty much it. Like, you can go up to like the C area, but you won't be able to hit anything good. So here I am at that spot. You can see I'm parking the longbows there, and then I'm going to run over. First off, I'm going to switch to a pole arm for some reason, probably because I'm forward. And you can basically arc over the inner wall and hit right where that siege tower lands. Right, you can actually hit that. Because you're doing on a supply point, you can just park it and go and then use a cannon, whatever. Now the problem with this particular match is that they never came. So I sat here waiting for them to come, and they never showed up. So this was actually pretty horrible. I didn't do much at all this match because I was waiting for them to show up so I can show you how you can arc the rounds in. But I do start it anyway, just so you can see that the rounds will actually make it over, and you can see how far. Now you can actually hit. See where that unit's sitting on B? You can hit that side of B. You can't hit obviously closer to the wall side, but you can hit that side of B, and you can hit that tower or where that tower lands. But you know, you can't obviously get closer to the wall. Now you can put your longbows up here obviously and start shooting, but I find that for some reason on this map you get trapped so quickly, so I don't do it.
The middle siege tower.
So there, okay, you can also hit into that doorway. So I do it. I turn around and I look for the arc. You can see that they are hitting, but again, if you have nobody sitting in front of you, blocking that place like a cork, you're not going to do anything. So this whole setup was a waste because nobody showed up, right? So I had to retreat back to the other longbow point. Now there are lots of places where you can shoot over things, but the reality is you can get hit so quickly by a melee unit, it just isn't worth it. So it's much better really just to use a silver era unit if you're going to use range at all, and you know, be more active. And here's another spot toward the final point that is actually quite good for longbows. This is but I mean, to waste an entire 250 points on just 2 spots is probably a bit of a waste, but you can do it here. Now the reason I say this is a longbow spot and not, let's say, a Namcan, because you'll notice that you're not that far from the main point. You can actually, with Namcans, hit that point, hit the final capture point. But what you can do is usually way out at the other end, right where that corridor is, they'll always, sometimes if we're putting up a good fight, they'll park range units there. Well, you can hit that quite easily with longbows from here, right? But in this map, they don't do it. They did everything that I didn't want them to do in this map, and I just have no desire whatsoever to try and go through all the chances to get Agulia again just so I can sit here and get a better match. But the whole purpose of this is to show you that you can actually hit that far corner with longbows quite easily and make any ranged unit out there have a bad day. But that just doesn't happen, you know. So you notice the arc comes in, and I can pretty much range everything in the circle quite easily. But again, if you don't want to have the extra range to shoot to that far corner, any other range unit will do. That's why this is such a bad map for longbows. But if we put up a good fight and they start bringing up guys on that corner, at least you can hit that. You can see, like, because I tried to play longbows this whole match, I'm sitting at 18 kills. They're just not worth it. But like I said initially, if you really wanted to play longbows because you're trying to get XP for them, you can do it. Like, you can also play over by C and shoot, you know, down this long corridor. But again, you know, melee units can get to you so easily that it's just not worth it. And that's pretty much it. So,
The enemy is about to capture the final flag.
as you can see, like I said, they're going to cap this point any second now, and then that'll be it. So, thanks for watching, and remember, don't play longbows on Agulia, because it's a horrible map. And I'll catch you another day. Cheers.